Alright, and I'm back. So we are still working on this head model. And last time we were working on it, we already had a projection on it, and we had made these notes on the side about how we are going to construct the jawline. So, what is this? Alright. Sometimes I press V when I mean to press B, and it rips it, which is a useful command, unless you're not trying to do it. So, where to begin here? As we see, we have our work cut out for us. Sorry about cutting it off so abruptly. My girlfriend had walked in. I don't like recording when people are around. And let's see. I would bring that in just slightly. Alright, so let's get this underway. So to build this up, first let's get rid of all these lines. They're starting to become confusing. Alright, so we'll cut from here to here. Enter. Yes. Let me not forget to turn on the screen keys, which is not turned on already. There we go. Alright, so we see that we have a flow going along here. We'll just Alt-M merge these at center and examine what we got to do here. Now if we cut along here, we end up adding some additional loops to the mouth, which we do not want. So let's just correct this and then we'll deal with whatever still has problems. Go on this side since this is the dominant side, of the mirror modifier. Cut, cut. And we don't need to worry just yet about how it looks in side view or perspective view, but they do play their respective roles throughout this whole modeling setup, but they have their place. So to continue, we'll cut from here, cut to there, enter to apply. We'll bring this up to here, bring this down to here. And this really is not step by step, like I was saying. You're just going to see the process I'm using and then try to employ it on your own. Ideally, that's how it's intended. But I guess it could be seen as step by step. So we have our loop coming up where we want. However, things are starting to get sticky. But no worries. And with K, we'll cut this to right here. And we got a triangle here. But if we K to here, and then select the edge and choose dissolve. And so what is happening? Well, right here, there's a little bit of strangeness, but somewhere else in here I think we have a double. Like how about there? Now it continues up. However, I don't like how it comes into meeting that. So the next thing to do is to just put in what I call a micro cut. to here. And now we have our loop going more in the direction we want it to go. However, there is an issue with a try. How do you make another try? How do you fix a try? Well, I fix it with another try. And now we have our jawline that comes down the nose and around here, and we also have the one that comes here and goes hopefully up to actually we cut this here, that'll work. I was going to merge the two, but I saw that was probably not the best idea. So we have a triangle here. We'll deal with that later, but we at least now have the initial loops in place for us to begin dealing with the chin. Come out of edit mode, select just this, and we want to turn off the grease pencil layer for now. And you can see from this point that it's pretty far in there. So the first thing we want to do is pull that out on the axe. With the mirror, you want to make sure that you're pulling in the right direction, because the mirror tends to make it a little confusing at times. Alright, so we're definitely moving along. It seems like we may be getting lost, but these things are all in the name of discovery. We'll merge those at center. Actually, we will not do that. Instead, we'll figure out a better way to deal with this. But we do want to pull them out so that they are meeting. Let's see, we got this loop, and we also have several other ones that are just not being dealt with. So we're systematically closing up everything. We just have to be careful and make sure that we're not doing things out of convenience, and making sure that we are modeling everything with pure intentions of a direction. And a lot of the time when I'm modeling, sometimes I just do whatever it takes to get it closed, or to make all quads, or whatever the case could be, and it doesn't always end up with the best topology, even though it is all quad topology. So taking some time to consider every cut and every edge flow does help you quite a bit in the long run. From here, we can K, cut in here, and now we have quite a few verts. We can K, cut to here. We can choose this edge, dissolve. Alright, we will K, cut to here, enter, and let's just dissolve that. Let's also dissolve this vertice so the flow is smooth. Now for this one, the inner loop comes around and down to the mouth. And the question here is that what I truly want? Or do I want it to come around and touch the bottom of the jaw? Touch the bottom of the face. So to change that, cut here, and our flow is going to now be going in this direction. Dissolve. So we have this one, we have this one, which I was actually trying to route it to go around this portion, but that is also just as good. Now the face is starting to look a little rocky. We can easily fix that. Just go into sculpt mode and just smooth I'm just clicking to smooth. You hold it too long, since the geometry is not yet dense, and there's n-gons and inconsistent loops going, that it would cause some issues. But if we look at our head, we see that geometric wise, it is looking very nice. Our edge flows are good. We have all the flows that we set out to do with everything complete. Now I don't like that one. I like that one. I like that one. But I don't like how it sears. But everything can be subject to change at any moment. Let's worry about just closing up the front of the face for now. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut. Oh man, I forgot what I was going to do. Oh yeah, do another cut. So we're just cut, cut, cut. Yeah, this video is more of a tutorial on the new knife than it is on modeling a head. Just kidding. And we'll connect to here. These are all quads, so everything's good. We will nut that. Press K. Cut all the way to here. That's good. Press K. Cut all the way to here. Press enter. Where's my song at? Alright, so we have this flow. We have this flow that's not going anywhere yet, but it will be. And how does this triangle tie in everything? How do we remove it? We could put another cut here. That would turn this into a quad. But then we have a diamond here. And does the diamond serve a purpose? Does this extra loop we made serve a purpose? You know, we'll take the cop out and pretend it does, because we can always dissolve it like it never happened and modify it however we got to in order to get, you know, to our goal. So slide that around, and the head is looking pretty good, pretty solid. Still not pleased with the side perspective, but once we complete the head, we will come back and level 2 everything. Right now, the nose is almost to level 2. The eyes are still level 1. The mouth is also still level 1. The overall head is still, I would say, level 1 in detail and, you know, as far as being finished and whatnot. Alright, dissolve. Now, the loops that we have here, I'm not terribly pleased with. Now the ear will be going around here, so we don't want additional loops to be spanning into the eyes. We don't want to add a loop to the corner of the eyes and put it under the chin. That's where loops go bad. We will W subdivide. We will cut here. We will take this back and start to try to flatten it out, because the shapes are getting crazy. But see, the goal is to mainly have all of our geometry uniform and the same distance, same size, no stretched out ones. Like we see a lot here that would be considered a means to an end at this point, but we are going to redo it in a way that gets way more, gets way better results, basically. This and this on him, merge at center, on him, merge at center. This right here could use a cut. It could not use a cut going down there. So this part was a nice experiment in making a forehead, but we are going to need to abandon this design and design it in a way that allows the topology to go the way that we want it to. So right now we have this. What we want is it to go all the way across. So the easiest way to do that is to cut from here to here. Okay. Cut from here to here. Okay. Cut to there. And now we have that loop set up. Now down in here we could easily just dissolve that, but no, that will not get us proper results. Also up here we probably want to merge at center, Shift R to repeat that, which usually when I'm merging a whole bunch I just use Shift R instead of Alt M, just to avoid having to select things off of the menu that I selected previously. Edge slide. Alright, so how to solve this? Well, are we pleased with that? Let's see where this loop goes. So it goes under the nose. Alright, so we probably want that to, cancel into the middle somewhere. And this is all just experimentation at this point, so there is no clear way of what to do. We're just choosing what we feel works best. And that will work. Edge, dissolve. And we won't have to add an edge in here, but at least we gave it an out now. So we bring that up, bring this down, bring that out, round this about. This part here I feel maybe needs to come in just slightly along with that. Bring that out, bring that out, and we get ever so closer. Alright, so it's going to take me a moment to warm up today and get my brain back into geometry mode, but in the meantime, this is a loop we would never need to use, so that's just there to keep it under control. Another one is to cut here, which will make this all quads if we dissolve that. And so now we see that we're starting to get somewhere. These edges, however, need to be slid in. These edges, however, need to be slid in. These need to slide some more. Alright, so now where to go from here? Well, we got the front the front part of the head looking pretty good, except for right here. We could probably fix it by just cutting to here and dissolving. And if we bring that up, bring this in, we now have a loop spanning the head and going all the way back under the middle, or at least spanning to this part. So the corrections are happening. It's just happening via the correction of other areas. Slide this up, select that one as well, slide it up, take this, Control E, edge slide, slide it back. Alright, so what is the problem here? Why does the head look so sparse in certain areas right here where we're trying to develop it? If we merge those two at last, it looks like that. Let's see how we'd want to handle this. How about we cut from here to here, press enter. We cut from here to here, press enter. Take this edge, dissolve it. And now we have the loop separating the back of the head from the front of the head beginning to develop. Now, like I said, when it comes to topology, this part doesn't even matter because it's going to be covered in hair. This is the head. This part doesn't even animate. In our part, in our tutorial, this is going to be important. But generally, the back of the head, you just close it off, make it look like a head. You can put hair on it, But like I said, we're going for a flattering model of this person that he will see and think, wow, that looks like me. Alright, but I think in the next video I'll start telling you a little bit more about the end goal of what we'll do once we finish making this. Alright, so we got that in all quads. This part does well. This part, however, does not. What does this try here? And what does it take to fix it? Well, my answer is microcut. And we'll just bring that around. And so what happens if you dissolve that? Well, we've created an all quad array, except that we need to add an additional loop cut. Cut this to meet it here. And by adding all this volume, definition, extra verts, we have began coming up with a solid form for the head. Alright, we're going to take this, edge slide, take this, edge slide. This part doesn't even matter because I don't think it's going to last. We got to still build a neck. Right here to here to here. And if we just cut to there, then Alright, so let's see. So we got this, so we probably want to add another loop cut in just to even it out. You know what makes it look weird is that it doesn't have any airs. So we will be addressing that very shortly as well. Alright, turn on GPL pencil layer. I don't know what I just said. Decrease pencil layer. Oh yeah, GPL layer, huh? Alright. We'll remove that vert, remove that vert. Told you, some of it was silly, but I like to leave my model at a near complete state at all times and then just modify it from there. SY. We're just going to sculpt it in a little bit. Work on starting to round this out. Alright, so that is looking nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. How to fix that? Well, we'll fix that by deleting it. We will delete another row of verts. Alright, and B, remove that from selection. We will come out of that into local mode. And we're just going to SX0, SZ0, rotate, scale it up, and we'll just set it right there. And so the neck is starting to look a little better, especially than it did the last time. Alright, let's put that in local mode. Let's turn off the grease pencil layer again. We'll bring that out. We will bring this out. Let's see how long we've been at this. Alright, continuing on. Took a break to take a look at geometry just to make sure that we're going the right way. Here's a very nice model that I'd found various means. And we see that they also have the loops around the eyes, the one going around the chin, mouth, nose loop, the loop going all the way around the nose, and then the loops of course going around here. Except we do see that they redirected it to be circular all the way around the mouth. So we may be trying to emulate that. But let's continue with our model. So the first thing I want to do is bring this out and then smooth it. But bring these verts back up. Let's focus on closing this up now. We'll put a loop here. We will fill this like so. Looks like there's a loose vert in there. I'm telling you, you gotta have an eye to catch these, because it'll cause some hell later when you hit subsurf and things are pinching. But we are definitely making a lot of progress in this video. In fact, at the next one, we may be able to just make some quick airs. We don't want it to be too muscular. Like I said, we are trying to make it look like the person we are modeling. Hold Alt, click that loop, fill with a face. Now, right here in the back of the head, we probably want to do a little bit of sliding just to start to give that area some shape. We'll smooth it out, make the neck and the head converge a bit. Except the neck probably is not shaped like that. It's probably shaped more like that. And with sculpting, as you can see, I'm able to, it's pretty much like as if I was in, vertice modification mode with proportional editing on. So it just comes in handy for this, especially when you're messing with it as a whole. Now from here we want to add a loop in there. And from here, put that in there. So now we need to start to plan out what we're going for here. We know that we want this loop to be redirected to follow suit with these other ones. So in side view, yes, big gaping hole. Let's do something about that. That'll work for now. Now to focus on the neck again. And if we look back at the other model, their neck just pretty much comes into this, but we want ours to come up, maybe behind the ear. And topology images are good to have. Like, I love storing wireframes. I have tons. Alright, so we'll cut from here to here. Enter. With the... Alright. We will undo that and cut from here to here. Enter. K. Cut from here to here. Enter. And now we see that we probably are going to need to modify some of these edges, but I don't want to delete any just yet. First I want to be sure of what I'm going for. So I want to put a cut here, enter. So the goal is to have something going, let's see, if we dissolve this edge it becomes more clear. And if we cut from here to here, and then select this edge and dissolve, it becomes a little more clear. If we cut from here to here, select this edge and dissolve, then it becomes much more clear. further tweaking, maybe a little bit of smoothing. And we have tries we got to deal with in here. But by now, tries should just be a matter of cut, 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 and you dissolve. Alright, now right here, we want to cut here, to here, to here, to here, and finally to here, which will allow us to dissolve and continue this up, and it goes all the way to the eye. So we're still going to have to do a little bit of redirection. Also, we can come out of local mode and look at the real neck compared to our neck. We see that this neck is a lot thinner. And we give him more of a masculine, me more muscular neck. So press O. Alright. I'm just moving them ever so gently. I don't want to mess up the work I've put in the front, which has been our primary focus. Well, you know, with models, people mainly look at the face, then the head shape. Alright, so this is our main loop that we're trying to keep as the, I don't know the muscle name, but you get the idea. Slide, slide, even out these polys. We'll bring this down, down, bring that in. And from here, track these down. And we're just starting to make sure the face matches the silhouette. God, this song's... Alright. And let's see. How are we looking? Probably want to bring that back out a little bit, bring that in. So here's our main loop, and we want this part to follow it pretty closely. And so this is where we're at so far. We are only at 39 minutes, and from this movie to the last one, we've made considerable progress. So let's go ahead and pop open GIMP. And we're just going to make an error. An error will lend completion to this. Not to mention, just to get the head to accommodate the error in this area, there's a lot of tweaking and reworking that has to be done. So let's go ahead and get ready for that. Bring up our reference images, find the best shot of his ear, probably this one. Why did we bring it in GIMP? Just to cut out this portion. Image, crop the selection. Trace around the air. This is just another reference image we're going to be using. But a little bit of help with doctoring it up goes away. Control I, delete. Right click on the layer. We want to add an alpha channel, delete again. And there we go, we got our air. You know, if we wanted to just, further lower the opacity a little bit. Alright, we'll just export this into the textures. We'll just call this air. We'll just call it air snip.png. Export. And back into Blender. We'll go into object mode. And let's see, we're in local mode. So from here, just go to layer 2. Where these empties are, move those to layer 0. So layer 2 is all ours, all blank. We add an empty, go back to our default, and change this to a UV image editor. Open our folder here, locate our air, drop it in. And the clone brush just made it look ridiculous a little bit, but we're not going to go back and fix that. We're just going to, we know that that's not even necessary to add. Alright, so here we go. Starting with the air, I'm just going to add a plane, line to view, tab into edit mode, scale it down, turn off proportional editing. And I'm just holding control and clicking, which allows it to, which makes it just kind of extrude. But sometimes clicking in to extrude creates these issues with some of the edges and angles, which I'm thinking is it trying to compensate. And more tweaking. All right. We'll bring it out a bit. Now, I have to say air modeling definitely isn't my strong suit, but with modeling people, it's unavoidable. Well, we can always reuse the air afterwards, but first to do that, you have to make the air. Alright, so, oh yeah, we need to lower this object's transparency more to about there. And bring this in. We're just going to scale that in and bring it in a little bit. That'll just lend a little depth to it. I'm sure the crease ends about right here. we'll be sculpting this as well. So we're just trying to establish the initial form, create a level 1 ear. We go back and modify it as we need to. Alright, we see here there's another pit. So these lines here pretty much are establishing our geometry for us. This is the inner rim of the ear, and this part sinks in even lower, but this part is pretty much straight flat except for this dimple. So we will be trying our best to make the best ear we can with the amount of geometry we're trying to keep within a constraint of. But like I said, this character is not intended to be low poly. This one would be like cinema quality instead of game, or at least in my opinion. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll rip that with V, face. Alright. Now from here, let's see, we can go a couple of different ways with this portion. The way I want to try to do it is to get these at another loop, merge at center, convert these two to quads, and just stretch that out. Diamond quads are something that have always kind of intrigued me because it's just another way of making a quad, but the advantages it has towards reducing geometry while still maintaining a quad is phenomenal. And I think that was something I learned from Lee Salmonelli's Ninja Modeling series, but it's everywhere. That was just where I learned it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put in a loop in here. This loop will allow us to curve it. So we want to continue with at least one loop and, just not quad it off. Alright, bring that in, merge those two, turn this to a quad, and we're getting pretty far on this air. How are we doing on time now? 48 minutes, 12 minutes to complete this. I will leave the timer there. No, I won't. This is a mess. How to solve it? Well, how do we want our geometry to go? Well, we probably want this here, so we can extrude that vert out, and maybe bring this part in. And we'll select this face and this face, and just bring that in. And like I was saying, it's not going to be the best air, but it'll do the job. 3, 4. Bring this in, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like that part a whole lot. And this loop may need to be redirected, depending on the level of detail that we're adding and what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm just trying to build this real fast now. Alright. And from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just put a quad there. Actually, no, we won't. We'll put a quad here and add an extra loop, because the cut's not going to be going across that part. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right here, alright, we want this part to kind of shadow that, because we see that that part kind of curves up a little bit. It'd be good to have that. Center. So how should we do this? Well, I would rip. Ripping is variable. Sometimes it's hard to rip what you want. Sometimes you just gotta keep ripping until you've ripped up everything that you want. Scale these in, bring it down. Fill with a quad. Add a loop cut here. Bring it out slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That ended badly. No worries. We can clean up any mess that we create as long as we have a plan for what we're going to do with it. So for this, I'm going to edge slide, edge slide, edge slide, and edge slide. So how to solve this? Well, we can go about it a couple ways. We can try merging these to its center. That'll create a big block there. We'd need a span between to make that work out right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, which we can take our knife tool and just cut to here. Alright, so I got about 6 minutes left in this one, but I guarantee I'll be working on the next one. We could put a knife here, and that would checkmate this whole mystery. This ends in a quad, this ends in a quad, but I'm not liking that. But there's not a whole lot of loops we're going to be adding to this area. We're just going to shape it to look correct. We're just wanting to establish as much form as we can as early as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4. And bring this out. Bring this out. Bring this out. And the shape is looking very nice. And right here is about where the air will start to end in this portion. So extend. And we know that the air is rounded in this area. So we'll extrude it on the Y, take it in the local mode, and we see that there are a lot of verts back here we're going to have to manage and deal with. In addition to that, we're also going to need to add a span coming out here, so we can Alt S and expand it. And that's a pretty decent looking air. Now, how to get rid of all these? Well, there's a couple of ways we can do it. I like to do it this way. Extend one more. 1, 2, 3, Alt M center. 1, 2, 3, Shift R to repeat. 1, 1, 2, nope, not yet. 1, 2, 3, Shift R. 1, 2, 3, Shift R. And so these loops that are causing these are going to be pretty messed up. But like I said, I don't think we'll be adding too much detail to the air since it won't be a primary focus. We just have to make it look as close as we can. And it's already fairly dense in this geometry, so we should have no problem getting the look we want. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, case closed. 1, 2, 3, 4, not happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, case closed. Edge slide. If we put wow, look at what that creates if we put a span there. That would change everything. So how would we fix something like that? Well, W subdivide, add a loop. We'll deal with that at the beginning of our next video. I'm also going to go ahead and save as plus, almost at the mag mark. See you in the next video.